120 people are being monitored in the U.S. state of Texas for Ebola. They are being checked whether they had contact with an American man who died from the virus at the beginning of October. But as RT's Ganesh Chikan now reports, the fear factor created sometimes exceeds the actual danger from the virus.
Ebola has infected only a handful of Americans, but the fear of Ebola has now captured millions. Some of the measures that people take seem to go beyond simple caution. A teacher at an elementary school in the state of Maine was ordered into isolation because she happened to have stayed at a hotel 10 miles or 16 kilometers from the hospital in Texas where the first American was diagnosed with Ebola. The teacher was one of 5 million people who commute through the city in Texas. A college in Texas has refused to accept students from West Africa. In Mississippi, hundreds of parents pulled their children out of a middle school after learning that its principal had traveled to Zambia, a country untouched by Ebola and located 3,000 miles from Ebola-hit nations. Syracuse University has canceled an event with a Pulitzer Prize-winning photographer who left Africa 3 weeks ago, although the photographer showed no symptoms of the virus. And 3 weeks is the incubation period for Ebola. Abundance of caution is a phrase that officials and administrators use very often these days. Out of such abundance of caution, a woman was reportedly locked inside an airplane's bathroom after she vomited on a flight from Dallas. Another woman vomited near the Pentagon, and the authorities kept her and 22 people on the bus that she had taken earlier quarantined for hours before they learned that nobody had Ebola. Hospitals in the U.S. are bracing themselves for Ebola panic ahead of the flu season. You know, some Ebola symptoms mirror flu. On average, 200,000 people in the U.S. get hospitalized for flu every year. Flu, by the way, which people fear less than Ebola, has killed a lot more people. Annual flu deaths in the U.S. have ranged from 3,000 people to 49,000. Doctors say at this point you're far more likely to die from not receiving a flu shot than from Ebola. In Washington, I'm Ganesh Chikan, RT.